Call the regular meeting of the North Marl Board of Trustees to order. It has been posted as required by law. All board members are present at this time. And at this time, I'd like to call on Brother Dwayne Hamill, pastor of the Cowboy Church in the Camp, to lead us in the invocation, followed by a group of high school students for the pledge.
Well, thank you for the privilege to come and do this. And I sympathize with y'all because in the late 80s I sat where you sat. And I know what it's like, and I know the pressure that you're under. The only difference is we didn't have all these people. But I'm thankful for the support that you have and for the interest. If you will, bow with me. Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we just humble ourselves before you, knowing that we're not worthy of what you have done for us. Lord, we thank you for the sacrifices you made that we might have eternal life with you. Lord, I thank you for this country that we live in, for the freedoms that we enjoy, for the ability to come together and meet as we do with the freedoms and to be able to come and be able to voice our opinions. Lord, we just thank you for that. And Lord, I want to pray over this school and this school district, Lord, that you'll continue to watch over and bless it. I pray for the school board members. I pray that you'll give them wisdom, give them understanding. And Lord, I just pray that you'll just help them to make the best decisions for the school and the community. Lord, I thank you for the individuals that are here. I just pray that you'll just be with them and let them be attentive. And I pray for peace and harmony among the meeting and let it go smoothly and well. Lord, once again, we praise you for what you've done for us and who you are. And we give you the honor and the glory in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Leading our pledges tonight are 5 of our esteemed debate team members. I'm going to turn it over to the guy who will compete in March at cross-examination state tournament, Zach Huffman. He will handle the rest of the introduction.
Hi, I'm Zach. Shout out Ms. Compton, 5th grade teacher. This is Garrett Holsworth, Mackenzie Walker, Felicity Sepsic, and Jordan White. So, we good? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We have no student or staff recognition this month. This time it'll take us down to item number 4, public comment. Public comment is the time for anyone in attendance to provide comments to the board. Statement from the audience will not be permitted during other portions of this meeting. So please let us hear from you now if you have comments to present. If your comments to be heard, your name and the subject matter of your comments must be written on the sign-in sheet provided prior to the beginning of this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes to complete his or her comments. As the presiding officer, I will strictly enforce that time limit. If a group of people want to be heard on the same topic, the board asks that a spokesperson be designated to avoid needless repetition. The board shall allow no more than 30 minutes for the public comment portion of this meeting. The board has adopted rules to preclude the abuse of open forum by, for example, anyone uselessly repeating the same comment or complaint meeting after meeting. In the event your comment, in the judgment of the presiding officer, constitute a complaint against an employee or officer, the presiding officer will interrupt and ask you to stop and will direct you to proceed with the district's formal grievance procedure, DGBA, FNG, or GF Local. With these cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear the general comments. Please state your name and the subject that you wish to speak on for the record. I believe the first one up is Mr. Steve Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. Red, I really appreciate the opportunity to take about 90 seconds is all. And following you and Zach, Zach's a two-time state champion for y'all, if you didn't know that this year. That's really rare for many schools. And it's become kind of ordinary around here, but we don't need to take it for granted, honestly. I wanted to mention the district facilities and planning committee. We met at an organizational meeting, as most of y'all know, and we also met for our work session, and we even walked one of the buildings, this building, the high school. We really appreciate, first of all, the willingness of the board to let the district representatives, the people of the community, the people that work here, take the leadership roles in this. I appreciate James Dawson, my co-chair, and also Mr. Scarborough for being our scribe and all the efforts that have been made for that. Well, we have set another meeting for the 18th, and we talked about the idea of trying to walk all the buildings and then get some information from the architects and all, and to review the data that y'all already have gathered over the last 2.5, 3 years. So I just wanted to be sure and come and give you an update and make sure that everyone understood that we really are going to take this seriously, and we're going to make some recommendations as a group later this spring after we have a chance to do our walking through all the campuses, and also a chance to interact with one another and get to know each other better. It's about 25, 26 of us, and there's a lot of cross-section of the school district. And we're trying to come up with some ways that we can improve the schools and do it in a physically sound way, and also be involved with the instructional specs so that we're helping our teachers and our students to get the maximum use out of our facilities. But I just wanted to let you know that we are at work, and we'll try to make a regular update so that you'll be aware of what we're doing. That's all I wanted to do.
Thanks, sir. Cheryl LaRue.
Thank you, Board. I just wanted to take a moment to brag on our yearbook program. Each year, a lot of people don't realize that the yearbook is judged by the Interscholastic League Press Conference. This is an organization at the University of Texas. And this book here, this is the one that we distributed back in May. I just received back the judging on it. And we scored, there's 4 different scorings. There's an award of merit, then the next level, award of honor, the next level, award of achievement, and then the next level, award of distinguished merit. And we scored an award of distinguished merit for our yearbook. Also, there's 14 different categories in which the yearbook is assessed. Everything from, obviously, graphic design and the writing and the photography, but it includes how well we cover our students and the quality of various services that you do in here, like the index and some of the historical information that is chronicled each year. Anyhow, I did want to share with you what the judges had to say about our book. Congratulations on a job well done. You did a fabulous job covering the students of your school. With a little work, and they put in parentheses, design and photos, you could be one of the very best in state. You were definitely close. Now, one of the things that I particularly want to mention is that we are highly supported by our school board and budgetary. That provides for us DSLR cameras and innovations that most schools don't get to benefit from. So we certainly would not have been able to achieve this without quality equipment. So I appreciate your continued support. Another thing I'm proud to say is that the yearbook is solvent every year. In fact, last year we had a nice little profit, but we put it back into the program because I have advanced graphic design students now that we needed to get some more high-powered laptops for. And so, anyhow, I'm just very, very proud of the staff that I had last year. We've already, I guess we're about 150 pages done with the book that we currently have in progress. And I just want to appreciate the support from you guys and let you know that these students work really, really hard on this book. And I just thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike. Next up is Mr. Charlie Martin.
I'll cede my time.
Okay, thank you. That will take us on down to item number 5, consent agenda. Everyone have a chance to look over it?
I have a question, Rich.
Yes, sir.
I want to pull out page 24 of the check register. Check register.
Pull the whole check registry.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything?
That's coming on.
Yeah.
So do we need to make a motion to approve everything else?
Yes, sir. Have a motion to approve everything except the check register. Have a motion by Mr. Stone,
Second.
second by Mr. Martin. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. All right, let's go to check registry.
Page 24. We, in January, I asked this question, never did completely get an answer. We had fencing for $1,900, and then on the February meeting, we have, it says fencing again to the same place for $1,900 more dollars. What is that for?
My recollection is we split that with athletics. Part of it came out of the activity fund and part of it came out of maintenance.
So that's the same thing we talked about last month, right?
Correct.
Why is it on there 2 different months?
I don't know. I mean, it's the same deal. I mean,
Right.
but I mean, as far as
The thing that we approved for that too was it was all supposed to be donated, it wasn't going to cost us any money. Did we find out about that?
well, I mean, my conversation with the donor was that the fence was not supposed to be part of the process.
But the thing that we approved was that night, and I will encourage you to go back and look at the video on the July 16th meeting at the 126 mark. What we approved was everything was going to be donated and wouldn't be out any money because they had 4 or 5 donors, and nothing would have to be, nobody was going to cost any money, especially the district. I just didn't understand why now we paid $3,800 for something supposed to be donated.
Correct. And all I can say is the conversation that I had with the donor was that the fence was not supposed to be part of it.
I understand. I'm not trying to cause problems, but we, as a board, okayed the donation that wasn't going to cost anything. So I have an issue with that. Maybe I'm the only one, but. That's my question.
Anyone else have anything?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am, you sure can.
On page 26, we have almost $10,000 going to Region 8. And I know that it seemed like at the first of the year we had hundreds of thousands of dollars going to Region 8. And, you know, I always question why, I mean, we keep paying and paying and paying. And, I mean, that's just, you know, asking what are we paying for now?
Where is that? I don't
That's
think
on
it's
page 26.
That's 26.
$9,429 going to Region 8.
I mean, I would have to pull this stuff up. Sheila, I mean, I don't have this stuff sitting in front of me.
Okay.
So I can't say exactly specifically what it is.
Okay.
I can tell you this, that anything that says has the 12 in front of it, that's going to be library. 31, is that nursing or is that counseling? Counseling. So where you see the 199.31 stuff, that's going to be counseling stuff. The 34 obviously is bus driving. And then the 211 and 255 are going to be federal funds. I don't know if Dr. Chadwick knows
It's
exactly.
a part of a contract. It's a quarterly payment of the contract.
Gotcha.
The 504 update section is where the counselors went to a 504 update training session for their annual update.
And they charge $35 for each person to go with
Yeah.
materials.
And then the copyright license that's coming from the library that's the partnership with Region 8, so that's just the annual component of that that's built into time.
So although we pay a lot at the beginning, we are still constantly paying through the year for
Yes.
updates, licensing, whatever. All right, on page 28, I was noticing campus plans, and I was just wondering what those were.
Campus plans, that is,
$3,000, what were they?
right, so that's the technology that is used. It's a software program. It allows the development of the plans, but also allows for the updates and additions and stuff to the plans as well,
We're putting in data, our stuff.
for all of our goals and objectives and strategies, yes.
$3,000. I bet. That's all.
Anyone else have anything? Being no further discussion, you better motion.
Approve the check register.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Richardson. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Take us down to item number 6, action and discussion items. 6A, public hearing on NLISD annual report.
Before you have the annual performance report, or it has been emailed to you, really, all it is a combined book of everything that has gone, that you all have heard about. If you turn 2 pages in, you can see what everything is listed, and I mean, you all have already, it's just a combined book that has to be put together. So we will put this on every campus. If you're not using your book, if you don't want it, I'd like to tax it and place it on the campus. We'll have it at the district office, we'll have it at Goodman, we'll put it on the district website. It's just, we just have to widely disseminate it, and we have to have a publicly meeting about it. So, are there any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Takes us to 6B, discussion only, plans to support academic achievement.
So,
Dr. Chadwick.
what I talked to you about last time, and we talked about the taper reports and the scores and one of the things that we said we needed to work on with writing, and I said that we would be starting a survey process with all the teachers. So you have the survey in front of you, so you can see the questions that were asked. It's an anonymous survey. We don't want teachers to feel like they can't say whatever they feel, but we do want a grade level by it, so we started out with grade levels so that we can see what the needs at the specific grade levels are. So we've received 29 responses of 47 that we sent so far. We'll close this survey down Friday, and we'll start pulling a committee together that will do 4 different committees, a K-4 committee, then a 5-7 committee, and an 8-10, then an 11-12. And all of those are set up to coincide with the final test in an area like the elementary, the 4th grade test, the 7th grade test. Then we have the 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th grade teachers will like to meet to see what they feel the needs are for students as they go post-secondary, so once they leave here. And then after we go through those, we'll take a representative from each of those committees and do a K-12 committee to determine the needs and the way we'll proceed. So getting our teachers' voices heard and moving forward with their ideas and thoughts. Any questions on that?
Well, I don't have a question on that. Does anyone else, before I ask, I want to back up one thing just real quick, just make a quick statement. I'm looking at the agenda to see if there's another spot I could discuss it, and I don't see one. But in the last meeting when we discussed the taper, I requested that we look at comparison with the Lamar County schools, broken down in both elementary and secondary, and broken down in the
By
three
subject.
categories of meets, masters.
I've got that. I don't have it with me. I can email that to you. Is that okay if I send that to your Google, your Gmail address? It's a very long spreadsheet with all those charts in it.
Let's-
And,
If you don't mind, you can email it to the board, but I'd also like it put on next month's agenda for discussion, just so we can ask, if anyone has questions or whatever, we can discuss the results of
absolutely.
that.
I've got it. It's in spreadsheet form. It's lengthy, but I would like to send it to you with the information on how I put it together.
Okay.
So it's ready.
Okay, thank you.
So this writing survey, we won't implement it until next year, you're telling us, so this year we're kind of behind the curve on writing?
Well, we're where we were. So we're
Okay.
trying to make sure that we're moving in the right direction by getting all the teacher voice in.
But we won't do anything
We won't
on
be
that until
able to
next year.
move forward with changes until next year,
Okay.
as far as that goes. Now, that doesn't mean we're not doing some things now.
Right.
We're actually implementing some tutorials that we've not had for writing. So there are some things that we're doing, with all the data, digs, and all the things that I've been showing you all year.
Right.
But one thing in particular, we are starting writing tutorials, and that's something that we have not been. We've been doing reading and math, not that we have been doing tutorials, but we're going to target writing at a completely and totally separate time so that we can do some really neat things in that area.
Thank you, Dr. Shedrick. Takes us down to 6C, discussion only, attendance and enrollment. Ms. White?
Don't mind if I stand right here. No fluctuation from last month to this month district-wide, so that number maintained. We did have fluctuation among the campuses, but overall district numbers stayed the same.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you. Six D, consideration and approval of call for the general board election on May 4th, 2019.
So this is just in order to call the election, as we have 3 spots that are up.
Anyone have any questions? Have a motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Richardson. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Go to 6E, consideration and approval of resolution extending depository contract with Guarantee Bank and Trust for funds of the Northmar ISD.
So TEA extended the opportunity to add 1 additional 2-year term to depository contracts. So this would be our final year with Guarantee before we had to go out for bid again. But it will extend our contract with Guarantee through June of 2021.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jim.
Explain the sentence, furthermore, a rate cap ceiling. Explain that to me and how that works.
Where are you at now?
On the actual document, about 2/3 of the way down, it says furthermore, a rate cap ceiling.
Let me get with Jeff and get some exact clarification because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Without backing up in here, where are our CDs at now?
Last one is like 2.
I don't want to tell you wrong because I didn't look at that before, but I can send that to you. Well, it's like 5-8% maybe.
So, I mean, this is a depository rate cap, so does that include the CDs, or is that just the general operating account? I mean, because if we're capping our CDs at where they are now or below, that's not a good idea.
Okay. Again, we can do that. It doesn't have to be approved till June.
Okay, I've got a motion by Mr. Richardson to table it till next month. Got a second on it? Second by Ms. Daughtry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor table it till next month. Motion carries 7-0. Takes us down to 6F, consideration approval of policy DCE local.
So DCE local right now currently in policy, we do not have the ability to offer non-Chapter 21 contracts to employees. And so DCE local will give us that option to offer a non-Chapter 21 contract to a director or anybody not required to have an SBEC certificate.
Such as who, what position would this be?
They could be maintenance directors, they could be finance directors, they could be technology director, positions like that.
District police, types of things, district police.
Could, yes.
Is this something that's new, or is just something that's new?
It's
for
just
us?
something that we do not have in policy. It's not new.
Have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion by Mr. Richardson. Have a second? Second by Ms. Trammell. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Takes us down to item number 7, Superintendent's Report.
All right, a couple things with the safety update. And Mike, I'm going to let you chime in on this. I know we were about to order some new mechanisms for the doors. You want to explain that real quick?
Yes, sir. We're in the process of acquiring a mechanism for the doors at 2 here and 6 at Stone that will be timed to go off with the bells to allow us to keep these doors locked during the school day. And every time the bells chime, it will release to get the students in and out, and then lock back when the tardy bell rings. So create a safer environment for some doors that we have open and locked.
Will it cure our problem of having doors open around campus that are not shut and locked during the day?
It will help with that. If we
What are we going to do to fix that?
It's a good question.
We've been talking about that for
We have. It's a matter of getting everybody on board, and we continue to strive to keep trying to get these people locked, because it's students a lot that tend to go out and prop the doors open. We've been working on that time again. It's been a battle. It has.
Well, I'm concerned that we buy all the locks we want to buy. If we're not shutting the doors and locking them, it doesn't matter if they're locked.
Oh, I understand.
So I think we need to really get the board.
Oh, I agree with you. Totally agree with you.
We can get a plan for that.
Absolutely.
I mentioned this to Dr. Adams during our facilities meeting, but, I mean, we've got a lot of doors here that are required for fire safety and such for exit, and they all have panic bars on them so you can get out in the event that they were locked. But I would encourage you to look and see how many of those exits or entrances could be eliminated other than for emergency use only, and put alarm bars on them like you see in restaurants and stuff, because I think there at least 2 or 3 of them here at the high school could be eliminated completely. It may make someone have to walk a few extra steps to get in, but there's just way too many. I mean, for example, there's, 3 between the B gym and the band hall, and just coming in between the 2 gyms that, as far as I'm concerned, all of them could be put that way. And I really think we need to look at, safety while the kids are here and in school is one thing, but we also have sporting events and stuff, and the people that are here, the parents, the kids, their safety is important too, and something could happen after hours. And we've got people coming and going, and I question how much of our gate money's coming and going out of those entrances and exits as well.
We've been battling that too. I constantly go back and forth between the back doors during games to keep that from happening. Yes, sir.
Because I may be wrong, on some of these doors, there's some of these doors in there that can't you when they have a push bar, can't you put that to a point where it can't be unlocked, where it can't be opened without a key? Am I wrong?
We do that every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that, but why can't we do that in some of these, especially in our sporting events, where that door can't be open?
Those are done. Kids go let them in. That's what we battle all the time during the sporting events.
You can't stop it from being open on the inside.
No, I'm not trying to stop it. No, I'm trying to keep it from open on the inside, propping it open.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, to stop them from being inside and pushing it out.
Oh, no.
That's what Jeff's saying, unless we put an alarm or something on it.
It'd have to have an alarm on it, just like you see in a lot of restaurants. If you go out or open that door, an alarm's going to go off, so you eliminate teachers and stuff even from coming in those doors, because alarm's gonna go off and you guys are gonna have to go check it
Yes,
when
sir.
it
That's right.
happens, so, you know.
I'll be more than happy to
But
check it.
you would never be able to lock them down because it's a panic
That's
exit,
right.
where if you have
Yes,
a
sir.
fire, you can, or anything else happening, the kids can just push the bar to get out. So, I mean, you can't eliminate that, but you could put an alarm on them because, you know, we've all probably seen big restaurants in Dallas, or there's even some here, that you can go out that side door, and every now and then you'll see someone do it, and the alarm goes off, but for the most part, people don't do it, and they quit using that. They
Yes.
don't use that door because it is,
I agree.
and that would be a way to eliminate some of.
I'll be happy to check on it and get an answer for you guys. I don't mind at all.
Additional safety issues, as most are aware, on January 29th, we had a threatening text sent to some students within the district. I just wanted to publicly say thank you to Officer Bowes and his staff and the local law enforcement guys, because they worked diligently and tirelessly to help us get that resolved very quickly. Mike and I actually went the next day and sat down with some of our folks and thanked them, as far as sheriff and stuff like that, for their work and their diligence to the district. So, Mike, and for you and your staff, you know, from the district, we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Some quick information on the board election. We do have 3 spots that are up. Those spots are Ricky Richardson, Tim Stone, and Kyle Costin. Those are all 3-year terms, and this Friday at 5 o'clock is the deadline to submit an application for a place on the ballot. So if you're interested or know somebody that's interested, this Friday is that deadline. 4-day instructional week. So last month we kind of talked about looking into the option of a 4-day instructional week. So last week we sent a survey out to staff. We sent a survey out to the community and the parents, just to kind of get a vibe of where we are. And I'll share these with you real quick. This first one is the community and parent survey. As you can see, there were a substantial number of responses for the survey. 64.2% of those responses said that they would support a 4-day instructional week. This next one here is just staff that responded to this question.
Is this one that's on Facebook?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? And when we talked about this in the meeting, we talked about that they possibly would have to go from 8 a.m. to 4:30 according to the minutes. One of the things that I saw with the responses on this was what people said. They didn't have any idea what
Yeah,
times.
and again, what the 8 to 4:30, that's basically what Athens ISD is doing. That's not necessarily what North Lamar would do. I mean, those logistics would be determined in district improvement committee meetings and campus improvement committee meetings to involve all the stakeholders in that process. I mean, this survey right here was just basically a way to gauge, is there any interest, is there any support?
Just to speak to that criticism a little bit, I mean, this board's been criticized in the past for its lack of transparency, and we didn't, and the administration didn't want to go any further with this at all unless we had community and staff support to do so. And I can speak for everyone, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I certainly don't want to speak for all of you, but once we go through, now that we have this, and ask him to continue studying it, once we have more information, we can obviously send more of these surveys out.
Sure.
As we can give that information to people. But why spend a lot of people's time and money if we don't even have the support to look at it? And this was just the first step to see if we have that support. And obviously we do. But as Dr. Adams can get further down the road and have more information, I'm sure that we will be sharing that and offering other chances to fill out future surveys and such before we actually adopt anything.
personally, like I said, I wouldn't criticize anybody, but the questions on that were coming up were, what times are we talking about, what's the date?
And I think that's why we tried to
Let me
put-
be real clear. I was not criticizing at all. I was just making a statement that that's what was said.
Okay.
And I wasn't talking about Mr. Richardson, I was referring to some social media criticism.
Right, so what we've got, I believe it's next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, we have a District Improvement Committee meeting scheduled. That's on the agenda to talk about. Obviously, we will include this information when we meet with them so that they're aware of where we are and then kind of go from there.
Have we thought about getting some kind of a survey or input from districts that are already 4-day week?
So I mean, really, one major district that I know that's near us and is roughly our size is Athens ISD. I've spoke with Mr. Stiles, who is their superintendent, spoke with him for about an hour, and just got some information from him. And he said anything that we needed to help along that process.
Are they going to?
No, it is in effect for 1920.
Okay, so they're not doing it now?
Not currently right now, no ma'am.
Tim, I don't know if anybody is doing it right now, do you?
Hugo.
No, I'm talking about Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Texas.
Maybe out in West Texas, there may be one or two. I couldn't tell you.
Well, I will say that the people I know in Hugo, it's not all positive. I mean, this may look positive, but you need to talk to some people that are already in a 4-day week.
And I've spoken to some of those teachers, including some of them that work here, that gave me a totally opposite report of what she was saying. So I think you're probably going to have to balance that out. But I was told the history over there and why they even had to switch to another district that did it, that kids were leaving because the community liked it so well. That's why they even adopted it to start with. But some of our people that went over there that work there now have approached me at games and stuff, and they're giving me totally opposite opinion. But let's get all of that information and weigh it all, obviously, before we make any decision.
I think it would be interesting to see how some of this changes as we get more information.
Sure. Any other questions about the 4-day?
No, sir. Thank you very much for that, sir.
Thanks, sir.
All got it.
That takes us down to item 8, executive session. Executive session, the board will conduct a closed meeting in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapters D and E, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071 and 551.074. Consultation with the attorney regarding pending matters, discussion regarding pending personnel issues, discussion of superintendent's recommendation regarding administrators and directors' contracts, discussion of superintendent's recommendation for renewal and non-renewal of administrators and directors' contracts, discussion of superintendent's contract and pending matters, Texas Government Code, Section 551.072, deliberation about real property. This time we'll close out an open session. 6:38.